However, so the new Raekor Barb in Season 26 is actually amazing. I was testing yesterday for both pushing and for speed farming, and I actually had so much fun with this build, guys. It is actually incredible. So for the first look, it looks kind of clunky when you first look at it, but when you start playing it, you start noticing how it actually works. It is so much fun, guys. So this video, I just want to bring you guys a few things from it, basically from the pushing and DI speeds, just so you guys have an idea of how good and how fun it's going to be when Season 26 actually comes around. Now, there are a few issues with the build itself. It does lag a little bit in terms of survivability, toughness, and you are fairly exposed to the environments when you have no CDs up, i.e. when you don't have wrath uptime up, but that is hopefully something they will address in the oncoming patch notes. But the implementation of this build is one of the best ones I've seen in such a long time, guys. This build is absolutely just really strong, really good fun, and it looks amazing too. But I think Blizzard did a phenomenal job reworking the Raekor Barb to this now, and the build has so much potential for everything you need actually in the game in terms of farming, that with just a few changes, this build could be one of the top builds within the entire game, both for farming and for pushing. Not just in terms of power, guys, but also just the fun. It feels good to play, it looks really cool too, and you can actually also optimize it really well for also doing speed GR farm content. So there's a lot of potential for this build, and you can also of course tinker with the spells, the passives, the cube, and all that to make it your own playstyle. And also some of the runes and the ancient spear actually just looks amazing with this setup here. With a new 6-piece just shooting up all these harpoons, it is so much fun, guys. So in terms of the visual, they've definitely made a really good job with this build, guys. I'm loving it. This could definitely be one of the builds that I would main in Season 26, just because of how awesome it feels like and how good it looks. And I'm not the typical player that actually cares that much about how build feels or plays. I'm just after the power, but this build here is just really good. Especially the fire rune on the harpoon is just really nice. It has a really good effect to it, and it's so visually pleasing to play with. Now, there are a few things that does concern me a little bit in terms of how it is currently. For instance, on the 4-piece, if you look at it now, you can see that you get damage based on percentage life missing. This can feel kind of underwhelming to some point, that you have to be low health to do more damage. It can be a bit of a weird playstyle, but you can of course get around it. But I would like to see this just be turned into a 50% flat increase to damage. And I think the most important thing for this build to be really good and really strong would be also to add some kind of damage reduction in there. The build can feel really squishy, especially if you have a cooldowns off. So basically like when you have wrath downtime, or if you don't have ignore pain up, anything can basically kill you. So I'd personally like to see also a 50% damage reduction implemented as well. So basically what I would like to see is the second line of it, where it says for every 1% life missing, I would like to just be you get 50% damage reduction, and if you get 50% damage increase, and just flat of that. None based on percent life missing, anything like that. Just a flat percent. What you could also do is just have it based on how many charges you have. As you might know, we get charges. If you look at my buffs, you can see I have 100 stacks right now, and when you throw a rock, you lose 5 of them. But when you charge, of course, you get 1 charge per enemy hit. So in a big pool like this, you get 20 or 30 stacks, so it's no problem at all. What you could do is also make it so you get a percent damage or percent damage reduction based on how many stacks you have. So for instance, per stack you have, you get a 0.5% increased damage and damage reduction. So the 100 stacks should have 50% in both. I think that would be a pretty cool way of doing it. And also, of course, implement something in it so it's not just a flat percent. But having it based on stacks acquired and stacks currently would be a nice way of doing it. But guys, if you haven't played this Barb yet, I would highly recommend trying it out when Season 26 starts. It is just one of the most fun and interesting builds I've seen in such a long time. Especially if you love the Barb, I guarantee you're gonna love this build. It's definitely a different build for sure as a Barb, but the potential, the strength, the power, it just feels really good, guys. I was so pleasantly surprised by how good this build feels. I did not like it at first at all, but once I start playing it, I put together a real build, something that actually function with good stats. Basically, you need a ton of cooldown reduction. Once you have that, the build feels amazing. Now, there's of course still room for improvement, as I mentioned before, but for first iteration of a newly changed set bonus, I feel like they've definitely done a really good job with this. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this new build. I'm personally a massive fan of it. And of course, if you guys would like to see more of the Barbarian and just general Season 26 PTR stuff, also make sure to check out the playlist here, as I will be posting everything there is to know in the Season 26. So we'll see you in that video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everyone.